Hi, in this video I'm just going to illustrate the use of the Excel template module in Load It and some of the new stuff that we added to cope with keeping formatting and stuff going in a template. So I've got this template here. You'll notice I've got some shading here. I've got the font here is set to Courier. This column is in italic, and I've got some conditional formatting here that says, if the age is over 39, then put it in green. So there's a whole load of sort of formatting embedded in this template. I've got a couple of sort of dummy data rows here, just so you can actually see the formatting. The only thing that actually matters is that you've got the formatting in the first row, because that's where Load It will read that from to apply to all the rows. Okay, so that's the template. So I'm just not going to save that. And I've got some data here, just some really simple data, which is roughly similar to the data to the layout of that template, and I want to get that data into that template. Pretty straightforward, right? So in the Excel target here, we can link the data together. I'm going to output the file to just a file called out, so that's all just normal. Now it's in the template tab here that you need to pay a bit of attention. So if I pick up the template here, that's great. I want to deselect this because if you have that ticked, it just literally loads the data, so like the text of the headers and stuff from the file. It doesn't actually load the formatting, which is faster, which is great, but actually we want to load the formatting and any charts and anything extra that's in there that's not just pure data. Now if you just use the default mapping here, then you're going to get the very basic mapping that's built into this module, so it's going to try and match on column name exactly, and none of the formatting is going to be respected. So that's not what you want to use here. You want to use the custom template mapping, and then when you click this button here, customize, opens up a whole world of stuff that you can use, right? So you basically define as many mappings as you like, and a mapping will map a data set or it's a sort of set of data that's coming out of the inputs into this module, and it's mapping it to a sheet in an Excel file. So you might have, I don't know, 2 or 3 data sets coming into this Excel target, and you may want to set up different mappings for each of those individually, or you might want to create one mapping that applies to all of them. There's a lot of flexibility in here, which you'll see as we go through it. Okay, so if I just click Add to add a mapping, I have to select which sheet I'm using in the template for this mapping. In my template, there's only actually one sheet, so that's easy. Then, if I want to, I can tick this box here to say whatever formatting is in that second row, just apply that to all rows that are added into the data. So, in this case, that's what I want to do, because I want to replicate that formatting across all of the rows. And then here you can specify a sheet name to write out to. Now, you could just call it sheet 1, and then you'll end up with a sheet name in the output, which is the same as the sheet name in the template. Or you can call it whatever you want, so I can call this customers, for example. And this can also be an expression, usual sort of Load It stuff, right? So you can go to town with that. You might want a dynamic sheet name depending on the day of the week or week number or whatever. But I'm just going to go with customers. Now the important thing with this, another important thing with this renaming is that I might have some customers data coming into my template, and I might want to output that into a sheet called customers, and then there may be another sheet within the template that I want to output the same data to, again, for whatever reason. And so by having output sheet names based on the same template sheet, but with different output names, you then don't end up with a sort of naming collision. You can just call those sheets whatever you like and write the data multiple times to different sheets, whatever you want to do. It's like complete flexibility, really. So that's that. That's the the sheet details. Then you have to pick what data you're writing, you're using in this mapping. Now, I'm just going to say, a specific input. So I've only got one input coming into this Excel target, but I could, if I had multiple, I could, select all of them. I could, pick a specific one by name or whatever, so you've got complete flexibility about which items of data you're going to actually use in this mapping. Okay, so I'm just going to hard code this to that data input. And then in the mappings here, you see a list of the column names that are contained within the template. And my job here is to map the columns in the source data to the template columns, as appropriate, right? Now obviously, some of the time you're going to make your column names in the template match the source columns, so that's an easy one. And you've got this special button here, this magic wand down here that you can click, and that will just do an exact name match to just auto map any of those columns that where the column names are the same. Now ID ID in my data is actually called customer ID, I think. So I'm gonna so there isn't an automatic mapping there. So I can manually choose which column as customer ID. Yeah. So I can manually choose which column goes into that template column like that. And last name is mapped to surname, right? So there you go. So I've got my columns sort of mapped there. So again, you've got quite a lot of flexibility there. I might want to also put age after address and reorder them here. So the ordering of the template provides the default ordering of the output file, but you've got the option here of adjusting that if you want to. So again, more flexibility. So that's it. That's my mapping defined. I'm happy with that. Now let's see, when I run the module, go back to here, it's created my output file, and you can see that this data, the font here is Courier, highlighting is there. I seem to have lost the conditional formatting here, so that's quite interesting. I'm just going to do that again in a minute and just see if we found a bug. But we've got the italics here, so in this case most of that formatting has been preserved. Let's see, let's go back, and my suspicion here is that reordering is what messed up, meant that we lost that conditional formatting. See what happens this time. Yeah, okay, so I found found a bug there. Nice. Okay, that's fairly small. That's we can get that fixed. So hopefully that just gives you the general idea. Give it a go, play around with it. Let me know what you think. Okay, thanks.